Dean, why don't you take it away?
Awesome. Yes, really excited for this one, guys. All right, so this is just me, real fast. Just I didn't even want to have to do this slide, but just real quick. I've doing Jasper since 2021. I was certified with them back when they were Jarvis, and used them since they were Conversion AI. I had this little sales and marketing funnel estimator. I actually reached out to Grant Cardone and Russell Brunson. They directed me to their team. And it's this shocking little calculator that I made myself, self-taught programming, and anybody can do this right now. People are gonna be so equipped by the end of this session, it's gonna be shocking. I'm spun up my own little marketing company here, Remember This Marketing, based on the concept of how long you're gonna remember this sentence for. Basically, what kind of sentence would that need to be, and also, I am the owner of a Supergel International Inc. My grandfather was a Hall of Fame plastics chemist. He had a massive IQ 180s, and he actually made slime for Mattel, even the Fleshlight, and he just pioneered so much stuff. And from there, I also had my dad that was a car salesman, and I even grew up on a car lot where at first it was kind of like my grandfather, he was over there on the beach, making tons of money. But my dad and my mom, they were selling cars. And my mom actually said, you know what, I want to build a website. And she went and bought herself HTML, and she taught herself how to get a basic website going, which in my view, it's even more sophisticated back then. And now, they kind of make it more like a Dreamweaver, sort of like drag and drop. What you see is what you get. And from there, from me running this little family business, I wanted to also expand and get more little business tools going. So yeah, I made my little sales estimator to know how much I could actually spend on marketing. And I made a whole bunch of little crazy programs. When I was in school, I made a little at least once estimator to know how much one could, how many times one had to reach out. So say you want to reach a top 1% client, how many people do you have to reach out to? Well, turns out about 298 to be 95% sure. So just little interesting things. And you're going to be able to do all this. You're going to be able to create this type of stuff right here. So check this out. So this is the digital marketer funnel system.
Dean, are you sharing your screen right now? Or trying
to? Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me share the screen.
Make sure you have access. Yeah, you should. You came in as host.
All right, let me make sure that I'm actually doing that here.
I was like, for the intro, I was like, oh, he could just be giving an intro and then he'll share a screen in a second. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, he's trying to share something.
Yeah, absolutely trying to share. Sorry about that. All right, so yeah, this is all right. So can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, talent stacking. This is early adopter since 2021. This is the whole thing. So just for reference, again, so basically this is the important screen anyway. This one gets important anyway here is this is my little estimator that I had made. And this is with JavaScript right here. And it was very simple, and you're going to be able to set up your own little programs that are like this. But this is just a little program that I made so that one could actually estimate, how much their follow-ups are worth and, the value of their actual lead. It seems sophisticated, but I taught myself this stuff and I just built on it a little bit at a time. Okay, so now here we go. This is so I'm so excited to share this with you guys. I prepared this for almost a month. Okay. All right. So do you guys see this?
Yes.
All right. So the Hacker Manifesto. Okay, this is important. I made a discovery today. This is by Lloyd Blanket. This is The Mentor. It's really important. And if you ever seen the movie Hackers, they talk about the Hacker Manifesto. And I made a discovery today. I found a computer, a door opened to a world. And that's really what I feel like this is, guys. It's like Narnia. Other people, they see a wardrobe. And this is actually a whole new world. This is a world right here. So this is it. This is where I belong. And I want you to also think about have you seen Jasper ads? Have you seen AI ads? You see these comments under there. They're always like, forget AI. They're destroying humanity. It's so subversive. AI has become subversive. So everybody that's here is like confronting this. So this is our world now, the world of the electron and the switch. We explore and you call us criminals. We seek after knowledge, you call us criminals. And yes, I'm a criminal. My crime is that of curiosity. Here we are learning. My crime is that of outsmarting you. And people in the comments, they're hating it. It's divided, the world of those that are embracing this and those that are afraid of it or whatever. I'm a hacker and this is my manifesto. You may stop the individual, but you can't stop us all. So that's just an important thing. And now you even see that they even value it. Someone with a hacker spirit can earn over $300,000 in this new job centered around ChatGPT. And they see this personality, this somebody that is able to, what you see the different sort of tricks. They're talking about basically understanding the prompts, understanding how to apply this. And they might like the concept that a hacker can spot the shortcuts. How this is too complicated. All this AI, a million things you could do with this, a million things. And so here we can go. You could spot shortcuts. People that are these hacker types. It forces one to think differently. Highly resourceful. This is the key thing, being able to cut through all that noise, and you actually appreciate all of the vastness here. You're thriving on uncertainty, a passion for knowledge, just like everybody here, every single one of you guys, and you're all highly curious, and people are afraid of that. And now you're going to learn how to control the inputs, because anyone can code. You guys ever see Ratatouille? Anyone can cook. Well, now anyone can code, guys. And I'm going to show that, because just with a simple one-line input, example code of a simple game of Pong using JavaScript single page code includes score and a simulated opponent for each turn. The winner will be the first to score 10. And this is it. And it outputted this game. Sure, here's the example code. And you paste this right on in, and you could do this for anything. Now, what does this Pong game have to do with guerrilla marketing? Well, imagine your product is right there, bouncing back and forth. Imagine that's actually your logo that they're playing with. And these are all games which you could then, if you're in the digital marketing space, any of these sort of games which you can convert that in that sense, you could then package as an offer to where, hey, we're going to make your brand fun, and we're going to offer these types of things. Okay. So this is, try and move this down here. So this is a little quick thing where Steve Jobs, he was saying, what is a computer? So here we are, we don't actually need to learn how to program. We saw that one line actually built a program, but that doesn't mean that you can't just complete, like, this isn't just the hugest thing ever. So what is a program to me? It's the most remarkable tool that we've ever seen, we've ever come up with. It's equivalent to a bicycle for the minds. And then you got the CEO of OpenAI behind ChatGPT saying, wait, better. It's like an e-bike for the mind, and then just clearing it all up. Everybody in this country should learn how to program a computer. And you guys are going to know that right now, because it teaches you how to think. And now you don't even need to pedal, because we have an e-bike for the mind, guys. It's just an e-bike now. We just go. Okay. So, oh, the places you'll go. And it's thanks to Mark DeGrasse that I actually have this pretty awesome little graphic here, because I took a very crude two-dimensional picture and I combined it with a 3D, and it gave me this incredible art. So thankful for him. He saved me a lot. And what we're going to be able to do here is, this is an embarrassment of riches. You guys are going to be able to do this. Design and launch games, guessing games, trivia games, name generators, quote generators, tic-tac-toe, all this stuff. And that's just the games. What's even more important is you're going to be able to convey your product. You're going to teach people, why, how long it would take, the size of it, the color, all these different aspects of it. Talk directly to your customer base with personality tests, and got all this crazy stuff here. It's shocking. And right now we're just going to use ChatGPT. even though there's all these other sort of things that are coming on board. Basically, just focus on ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot if you're going to go any further on this, because Copilot's going crazy. And apparently Amazon has another one coming out, but ChatGPT is all that's really necessary right now. All right, so this is that marketer vision link that the Mark had included in the little Q&A. See this long prompt right here? That all that grayed out areas where you can just copy and you can just drop that right into ChatGPT, and then it'll allow you to do this. This is the basic thing. You could even it'll give you this output right here, and you can go choose C, I want a lead magnet, and then comma, and then put your industry, and then it'll give you stuff that's related to your customer, your business, what have you. Okay, so this is really what's going on here. That marketer vision that I told you about just now, well, it could help you come up with some pretty crazy stuff, because I just told you about that estimator that I built. Well, there's one flaw with that estimator, I always thought, and it's the fact that it didn't actually estimate confidence intervals. So I went into ChatGPT and I pasted, this is basically the same thing as that marketer vision, except even like way less. Like I didn't include the prompt, but this is the first response. And then I said sales. So if you go in and you paste in that marketer vision, and then you just say sales, then it would come up with something like this. It would give you an output of tables. And then I said, okay, let's expand the table. And then it gave me a different, it expanded that out. So I said, you know what, let's expand it out. And they said, okay, which ones do you want to expand? So I make a new table based on all of these. So then it's like, okay, which ones do you want? I said 5, 6, and 7. So I said average order value, customer lifetime value, and churn rate. So then it gave me three tables right here based on those 3 things. And then I said, give me an example of a JavaScript bootstrap estimator that allows one to consider this information. And it literally just outputted the code right there. And I said, output the completed code. And it just gave me that. And then I literally took that and I pasted it right into this site. And then I ran it. It's just this easy, guys. And you go to JSDo, and you're going to be able to copy the code off, and it's going to be able to do that. I'll play it one more time. I took that code that it gave me, and I pasted it into here, and I ran it. And then you could see that so like I could basically add this to my calculator, or I could just consider it. So now it can consider a confidence interval for how accurate it is. Okay. So here's all the cool, now we're just going to basically talk about doing this. Okay. Like breaking a small, if you want to just come up with a whole bunch of crazy ideas besides just using the marketer vision, you got Notion AI. I said small program ideas for a flower shop. And it literally came up with some pretty cool stuff. And you want to consider all the different, I feel like, okay, they're like kind of slightly directing all of these different things, like Jasper Chat. They're all trying to have slightly better AI, answer just a little more succinctly. So it's nice to be able to get a variety. All right. So this is the famed dynamic template from Jasper. Everybody's excited about this. And I think it's probably the most misunderstood template that they've ever released. And it's because what this does, I saw even with Molly and Mark the other day when they were doing a thing and they were trying to look for dad jokes. Well, what it did was not give you dad jokes. What it did was come up with a template for dad jokes. So if you wanted to say, I want to come up with a template of dad jokes which touch on holiday, which touch on age, which touch on automobiles, then you can literally, then it'll give you these different sections for those types of things. So I said, let's come up with some ideas for a flower shop calculator or for a flower shop. So I put in this input, create a list of simple one-page JavaScript programs for a flower shop. And the output was literally all of these different types of suggestions here. Okay, it's 12. Okay, we're making all right time here. So these are all the different types of programs that one can make. It's shocking. And the only thing that I put in, so this was, I went into dynamic templates and I put this in at the top, create a list of simple one-page JavaScript programs. And all this other stuff was already suggested. They suggested that. The only part is in blue that I then added. And I said total variety, ratio of type. So then it would give me just these great, so I can make all these programs. If I had a flower shop, I can make all these types of programs, and they're just, dynamic templates is a winner because it helps you to scrape the idea space in such a unique way. And again, when somebody's going in there and saying, hey, I want it to give me the results, it could be confusing. It's not going to give you dad jokes. It's going to give you a template to be able to scrape the idea space of whatever it is. And when it comes to one-page JavaScript programs, you could run out of ideas pretty fast because you're just like, what do I do? What's possible? How do I, but you could now, Jasper has your back. So I went in here and I said, okay, let's also change it again. So then I added emotion, chocolate, love, relationship, spur of the moment. And then now here we go, talking about adding some programs, which include chocolate, which include love and relationship based stuff. Floral mood indicator. This is incredible. And just feeling like if someone was actually going to be able to pay a developer these types of things and to even come up with all this, one is putting on so many hats right now to be able to even extract this type of value. And it's incredible. So let's see, let's go on ahead, and after you're done doing all this, after you're done coming up with all these ideas, using Notion, using Jasper, using ChatGPT, and all these other crazy options, then you could talk about reaping your harvest and saying, hey, remove duplicate examples from the list and then sort them. Because isn't that what the key issue is, that there's so much going on. So you want to be able to actually have something that you can start using the Pareto principle. You want to be able to actually sift through. So then it'll give you an output of something like this. Hey, you think twice, you code once. So after you've been able to get all these different ideas from all these different things, you tell it to put it into a table and sort. You could have, if there's anything that you've got some duplicates there, you can tell it to remove the duplicates, and then sort it by value, entertaining, priority. And then as you see, you can kind of start, if you have like 100 ideas, going through, grab the most valuable and highest priority. So that's what I did. And I thought Bloom Booster was pretty cool. So I literally made that. Let's see here, move this. I got my picture. All right. So this is a little Bloom Booster game that I just made here. So I grabbed one of those suggestions and I said, hey, it said a simple interactive game where customers tap on the flowers to help them grow while the timer counts down. Each successful tap rewards the user with a fun fact about flower care. Well, that whole idea, it was working, but I didn't like the idea of just having to click around. So then I had it so that I changed the idea up midway through, and it actually got kind of convoluted, but still able to. And instead of having to click, I had it just move around and then drop a little water, and it just came up with the whole thing. It's so nuts. But one thing to always keep in mind is that when looking at these prompts here, when trying to build a program, when you're around the 3 to 5 prompt mark, then things are easy. Things seem good. That's what one needs to always, even if you're building out a big project, it needs to be these small 5 prompt nuggets of code or of back and forth here, because you can get attention residue, where if it's giving you the wrong output or it's not actually giving you what you need, then it'll start thinking that that's actually what you want, because that's how AI is. It looks at all the text above And then it thinks that that's what you want more of. So 25 prompts feels like this giant wave right here that's just completely insurmountable. It feels different. It feels different if you do consider that. And I'm sure that you guys have gotten deep on a weird thread, so you want to be able to consider that. And just within 3 prompts, I made this. Just a little simple 3 prompts, create a JavaScript game of rock, paper, scissors, 1-page simple, score images, and then it threw an error when I pasted it. So I pasted the error back in. And I told my cousin this, who initially we would talk about programming when I was a kid before I even knew programming. And I told him about this and he said, how do you debug? And I said, you paste in the error. So he sent me back an upside down smile emoji. Like, what? But this is the heart of AutoGPT. You hear this thing is self-prompting itself, all this. This is the heart of it all, okay? Now, it's because you can do crazy stuff like paste in the error. And you could tell it, hey, write me some error handling, write some console logs, some different little things. So you can tell it to throw more errors. So basically that's what I was able to do. I just within those 3 things. And then I went and I grabbed 3 little images of a rock, a paper, and a scissors. And we got ourselves a game, folks. And you could just post that right on into your web page. You paste it into your web page. You could have it connected to other stuff too, if you need it to. So this is what I'm talking about, that JSDo site where you paste it in, it'll throw an error like this. So then you copy that and you paste that back into ChatGPT. And if you really keep getting an error, you press F12 and then it'll pop up this thing, the console. And then you can paste this error down here. And you could then give it more and you could say, hey, add console logs. So then when you use your program, it'll throw a specific error that it'll like ChatGPT will write up a very like a signature error that it'll describe exactly where the thing is actually at. It'll write a bunch of console logs to debug itself. And then you'll be able to have more descriptive errors. You paste back in and then it's like, oh, okay, well then that happened. And then you're off to the races with that. It's shocking. So then I discovered TextBlaze, and you see all people talking about AIPRM, and they might be kind of rapacious. I'm not sure. Some people, I guess, the whole thing is I didn't want my prompts to be going over to a company that is looking at a bunch of prompts, trying to find the best prompts. I want my prompts to be private. I stopped telling anybody about AI right when ChatGPT came out. When Jasper came out and it was 2021, nobody knew. It was fun. I was telling everybody. And then when it started to get a little more popular, I kind of stopped telling people my secrets. And then when ChatGPT came out, I saw that it's now programming and I was done. And I wasn't going to just put it on a little YouTube. So then I reached out to Mark DeGrasse and he was able to kind of allow me to offer this in a more formal way. So now I'm able to share this kind of stuff with you. So TextBlaze, you'll be able to have a quick new line. If you guys ever went into ChatGPT and you want to just click enter and then it submits your whole thing, well, now you don't have to deal with that. So you got prompt privacy. It can continue your code. This is crazy stuff here. Shareable folders. So I could even share these type of cool prompts with you to where you could just have access to this. And I was going to build one of these, and then I realized exactly how magical and hardcore this is. These guys are very, very smart people. Okay, so then I even went in to make sure, hey, where does this go? And it said, no, the data, this is the co-founder. He says, no, it doesn't store the data. Also, the requests are made directly from your computers. The data doesn't even pass through TextBlaze servers. So when you're sending your prompts through, when you have sophisticated stuff, you don't want to just this is so important to not just give away the best prompts unless you really want to. Like right here, this is you can attach your name to it in some way. At least I think that's important. So we can go in and do a little bit of programming right now. We could actually kind of do a few little examples. Let's see. Let's go into. So now we can kind of play around here and see what's going on. I'll move this. Okay, you guys can see all this? Good. Okay, nice. All right, so this is what I'm talking about with TextBlaze. You know how if you were to press enter, then it would just submit all this here? If I was to go and just press enter. Well, at least with you can make a little a new line type of thing where you just go / and then make it a period. So then you could do all sorts of crazy things like marketer vision GPT-4. So now it just immediately pastes in my marketer vision prompt, so I can just go to town right there with that. So let's see. I also let's do example 1 right here. So this is just let's build a JavaScript guessing game for a flower shop. And then boom, boom, boom. Here comes out all this code. You're ready to go. So copy. Let's go. Let's get a clean one going here. What flower is this? See, it makes like a different program all the time. So you can just right then and there, you'd be able to have something that's novel just by asking it the same question I ask. So let's see how, you look at it and you go, okay, random flower name. I mean, you might want to actually look and see, what this actually is doing. You can even copy it back in and say, what is this program doing? And how does it work? And if one actually wants to kind of dig in and learn. So let's say tulip or something. I gotta move my images. All right, so let's see. Yeah. So you go, hey, what is actually going on here right now? So then you got to go F12. Oh, failed, file not found. So you go, okay, so it tried to throw in a file here somewhere. And let's see. So it's actually grabbing them from Unsplash, these little images. And it's pretty interesting that it's even able to fetch that type of stuff. So this is a different little type of game here. So I don't know. Let me go through and let's see what sort of other option. So you can go on and just to show what sort of different variety comes out here. And yeah, this one is actually throwing it like as if, so you can have it all into one page if you want to. The whole JavaScript program can be in one page, or you could then add a little file and then put the program right on in here. And you don't want to do that. You want to be able to have it so that it's like, so here's how, I'm glad that I'm able to show you guys this real fast. So I'm going to copy this into here. And then this is where you don't even need this right here. You erase that out. And then this is just basically what JavaScript is. You just paste it right into the script. And then it's just grabbing an image. You drop your own image there. And let's see.
Hey, Dean, we have
Yeah.
a few questions. I didn't know if you want to get to
Yeah.
them now or if you wanted to demonstrate this in action and then get to them, or how do you want to
Yeah,
do it?
well, we're basically done here. You can see it, I just checked the answer and it said Rose, so let's try a different one. And then you'll see it's incorrect. And then one little quick last thing is that then you might go, hey, that's a boring game. And then you just tell it, hey, randomize the flowers in this game. I mean, I just think this kind of showcases a little bit of how one can actually talk to it and make these changes, because sometimes it outputs a simple thing, sometimes it's sophisticated. So now it just gave you this code. But yeah, we're ready for any questions that might be there.
Awesome. Oh, this is great too. I think what happened at my last workshop, which is I tried to access ChatGPT while it was busy, and then it did oversimplify the answers a ton.
Yeah.
So it really just
You got to go into
depend on-
ChatGPT 4, and then it could be kind of slow when you're on live, so you don't want to necessarily have to go there. But that's what you got to do sometimes in this program. Is if it gets finicky, you got to go into the 4.
Nice. Let's see. I'm just going to go down the list and we will get some of these answered. I think this is from before when you were using Jasper for the jokes. Do you need Jasper for this? Yeah. And I think, no, you don't need Jasper for the JavaScript production. Actually, can Jasper even make JavaScript?
Can Jasper make JavaScript? Yes, it can. It can do a little bit of that. Let me see.
So the answer, Paul, is you could use either. Now, let's see.
Even though Jasper doesn't output as much of the text, like kind of do shorter responses, so it's not best to do programming through there. Plus, most people are having to pay per word on there. So,
no, that makes sense. Yeah, go free if you can. Let's see. Vicky asked, would you not use no code to build an app rather than JavaScripting, which is pretty hard to learn?
The no code, well, I guess there's all these that are popping up and you should always see what is out there, but be careful with the no codes because they end up hooking you on. Now you're married. I mean, do you really, when it comes to something like this, I want just, if we go back to right here, do you see this slide? This is, you need to, it's about knowing. It's about the fact that it's not that hard. This whole world was made by people who are no smarter than you. You can do this. And JavaScript, it may seem like it's this crazy thing, but just like, why is no code here? It's because people want easier solutions. Well, JavaScript has made it like you could literally just tell the thing what you want now. And if you run into any problems, you can, it's ready to go. Yeah. I mean, and there's a community here that can help you pretty much, get going here. But
well, Vicky, when you're doing ideation or just testing something, like you don't want to go through the whole process of, setting up the no code account and then going through everything they want you to do. And then on top of that, the code is riddled with their stuff. So in terms of ownership, I would say you're better off testing and maybe even coming up with the app idea using JavaScript and free ChatGPT, and then going into one of those. So how how it works. Or you go to somebody like Dean and say, hey, Dean, here's what I've made. Could you put this together into an app? And then,
Yeah, I'd much rather you guys message me so that I could at least save you guys from doing that. I mean, seriously, I like the no code stuff if it's available, but from what I've seen, it's so much better to just know, because the programs that I've made haven't been necessary and they wouldn't even, I don't even know if they're necessarily possible always.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of times, all my app ideas were going to be millions of dollars. And it's like, from a testing standpoint, you're better off just kind of doing it. But I mean, this is such a better job because a lot of times with the no code or the ones that are like, oh, make an app for free with no code, you're kind of restricted by their capabilities. And so your idea isn't even your idea at the end of it is what ends up happening.
And I think the key value here is how things could be changed. So I'm going to show you guys something even at the end of this that's going to make this even more obvious and profound.
Ooh, well, let's do one more question then when we get to that. Let's see. How do you create a prompt but mask the prompt so a client can pay you to use it? Do you need to build your own app, or is there a simpler solution?
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Is the answer.
Don't even try to hide a prompt. You can't hide it. If you maybe here's how you can hide it. You start your own. I'll show you how to make a little OpenAI thing so you could then have your prompt, but then get ready to pay for GPT-4 so that it doesn't hallucinate and give up the secrets. Because GPT-4 is probably the only one that you could even use the system messages to make it so that it won't disclose itself. You saw Sydney. They cracked Bing. These things are getting cracked. That's not the job is the fact that you know it, that you could build custom stuff. And the more you ask anybody in your normal life about this AI, almost nobody's probably as interested in it as you. Yeah, so
that's such a good point.
You have a unique advantage already.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. I went to speak at an event 2 weeks ago, and it was people from all different industries, and I was like, oh yeah, AI is taking over marketing, and I was like, who else is seeing this? And like nobody had even used it.
See, that's what I'm saying.
We're on the edge.
Yes.
You guys are advanced, so just live it up. Okay, did you want to get to the other demonstration you were talking about? And then
we can go on through here. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I could just finish out this whole presentation. We'll just do examples for after this. I'll just finish up this presentation here on the slides, at least, just to show you guys kind of a little bit here.
Perfect.
Let's see. So rock, paper, scissors, you guys see all this here, Text Blaze, and we'll see a little bit more what Text Blaze is going on here. If you see this, even talk about jokes here, drop in a little joke. See, this is like, this is how just this prompt is actually able to do it. A neat little way to think about AI. So, and this is able to make custom messages even based on your own, like say you're going to a LinkedIn profile. Well, now you could actually have it make custom messages to the actual person. If you look at this, this is pretty groundbreaking stuff. Again, I just think this is really important to have Text Blaze on your site, because it's like $3 a month. I mean, $3 a month to be able to have all this type of functionality. So it's just writing this custom thing for this guy. I just thought that was neat. Okay, so this is really what's going on here. I put out in the Slack before all this, I said, does anybody have any requests? Does anybody want anything specific done?
Ooh, I want something.
And one guy said, can you do something for the health and wellness industry? So I thought, okay, Stress-Tomator. Now let's see here. Let's make a Stress-Tomator. So basically they could just put in the different sort of questions, and this is applicable to anything. And I'll show you how I literally used Text Blaze here, that I could then give this to anybody right now. So, oh wait, let's go over here. So, oh, I can't zoom up here. So you see I go in and I literally type in /P1, and it's like program 1. And I put, oh, this is for the floral industry. This is that Stress-Tomator. This is the same code, except I just went and I put in the Text Blaze, you could have it, like make a little snippet there. And then it gave me the ability to turn this program, so I'll give you that, guys, this Stress-Tomator type thing, and you'll be able to turn this into your industry. So you just simply go and type in, /P1, or I could just give you the code and you just say convert this program into, I'll show you, I'll play it one more time. Because this is what it is. It's like, once you make a program and you get it going, now, if you're in the digital marketing space, now you can offer this to every single client that you have. So this right here, and just website, turn this into a floral one, turn this from that subject into a floral program. So then it says, okay, now it's a flower estimator. Just that simple. I turn that stress estimator into a flower estimator, just like that. And I said, make it into golf. So now it's a golf skill estimator. So how often do you play golf? And then, if you don't play golf enough or whatever, check out our latest offer, or whatever. Oh, you're a pro. Oh, well, then you're going to want some of our advanced deals. We got something hot and spicy for you. Right here, it shows that you could have a link, you have a coupon code pop up specific to the results. Have ChatGPT make this entire thing for you. Good luck with the no code. You got the no code thing. What are you going to do? Tell ChatGPT to make you another version of that no code? It's not necessarily as quick as all this, and it's not nearly as dynamic. I literally said, hey, add chocolate, to that other dynamic template prompt. I mean, good luck having some of these no code apps come up with different ways of being able to add subtleties like that. I mean, that's my rant, I guess. So then there's living sheets. Now, Mark suggested that he gave me this spreadsheet based on your customer value journey. And he said, hey, it would be an interesting case study to see this as like an application, like an actual program. So I got this back to him too, sweet. I got this back to him pretty quick. And this is the basic little program that one can do. So you bring all these Google Sheets to life in this way. And I did it with another one too, just last night, where it could fetch all the different social programs, and it was just a little spreadsheet. So these spreadsheets, they're trying to go like, oh, you could make them into apps. Like you see a lot of these people saying, oh, here you can talk to GPT now with your spreadsheet. Now, that's what you see a lot of these people doing. Hey, here's your Google spreadsheet, and you could then get that. Okay, now what if you turn that alive? So what you do is you go into the little app script for any of these sheets, and then you paste that into ChatGPT and you say, turn this into a JavaScript bootstrap example. Okay. So then I did that sort of thing. And this is when I started making AI programs. Someone had a Google Sheets program where they could talk to ChatGPT, and I saw that. So I went into the app script section of the Google Sheets, and I copied that and I pasted that into ChatGPT, and I said, make this. It was a little back and forth. There's a little bit of where it wanted to talk to itself. I sent Mark DeGrasse this program, and he's like, hey, it wasn't like it was breaking some of the tables on one of them. And so I had to go in and fix the tables, like, because it kept trying to have a conversation. I didn't want a conversation. I just wanted it to output one time. So this is what's going on here. I literally, this is a marketer vision thing. You could type in flower shop and it can output a customer value journey. I even added an emphasis chocolate, add something to do with chocolate to this. So every single stage, it'll give you a suggestion for this. And God, when we're talking about that plus this program that he said, hey, it'd be interesting to see this come alive, then what do? You can come up with the ideas, and then you can use this program to then log them. And I'm not some genius programmer here, but I literally have ChatGPT, and I just am astounded by this. And notice that it's even outputting in color. Notice that. Okay, so then I even made an avatar finder with this. Unbelievable. The mother load, guerrilla marketing. Do we have any quick questions? I don't want to. If anybody has any questions, just let me know. If you see anything important.
Dean, I don't know if it's something that you could go through quickly, but the process of actually turning a spreadsheet into the app.
Let's do it real fast. So this is a program. See this? You see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the sick sheets that I saw. This is a sick thing. You could, it fetches, you put in a domain here, and then it goes and finds all this stuff. So you go into data, or you go into these guys, how are they doing this? Well, they got an app script. So this is it right here. You go and you click data, or no, you click extensions, then you click apps script. And this is how they're running this spreadsheet, making it fetch all this stuff. So then let me get another one going here. Let's go into here. All right. So let's see. Goodness. Yeah, this is forgiving. You can say this in a million different ways. And you just see how this actually, I better refresh. It's thinking. But it's just something as simple as this. Literally, you saw me go and take that. I mean, look at it. It's literally building something. Someone's even got CSS. So you saw how I put the code in through the script. Well, if you guys got CSS, you just put it in between style like that, and you'll just paste in the CSS like that. So let's put this in. Let's HTML. Go get the rest of it. That's the CSS, so you can style your website. I'm sure a lot of people know the CSS thing, but it is important to include that because you could tell it to make even more fancy CSS, which is just cascading style sheets. And then we're going to put the script in just like this. And we're going to see. So like this is one of the more sophisticated programs here that I'm doing. Like this is actually fetching and stuff. And I was like, oh, how is this actually doing it? Like this one probably took me a good half hour. So, but let's see how. I even had to take this one over to GPT-4, I think. There's an error in the throw statement of line 10, which is incomplete. And then it'll give you all this. And then you're like, I don't want to put this all together again. So output full program. So then it's just going to make it so you can just kind of grab the little copy code. And this is pretty insane because, you know, they always talk about hacker movies and like how they're all like all this excitement. Well, normally it shouldn't be exciting. Hacking is so not exciting. There's no glamour in it. It's terrible to watch, just like programming. But this is actually a little bit more exciting. Okay, so. And then also, it allows you to continue code. Like you saw that with that text blaze. I could also give you this to where it can continue the code from that line because sometimes it gets finicky and wants to restart, but you could just simply say continue usually, and it'll just output the rest. See, look at how complex this thing just got right now. Pretty nice. All right. Throw this in.
So Dean, real quick, if they don't have, if there's no app associated with the sheet, because I was actually just trying this. I went to extensions, went to app script, and then there's no app script for the sheet I generated. Do you have to generate
Oh,
an app script
no.
before?
No, then
Oh.
you could just kind of describe it. That's what I did with our program that we made. I even did that as a video, so that I don't know if you want to offer that. I even videotaped how we did that one. But yeah, just basically describe it a little bit. And I used the information in there to populate all the different stuff. So it was easily able to understand what it was doing. Yeah, I copied the customer value journey and what have you. So let's see, style. And let's see if we can get this thing working here. And I get all these tabs going. Right, so where did we go here with this? Yeah, that's the only other thing, is kind of trying to keep it all together when we're in here. I could even, and if it all else fails, is what I end up just going over here to GPT-4, just saying, hey, you know, fix program, you know.
Actually, Dean, maybe we could use my sheet as an example,
Okay.
not just because I want to turn it into an app and it'd be neat if you did it for me, but also because I think it'll highlight what's going on. So I have a spreadsheet I generated that basically goes or creates a Midjourney prompt based on a mood, and then all the parameters that would be needed to
nice.
that mood. So
yeah,
I'm going to share it with you. Actually, I'll put it in chat if you just want to grab it.
Okay, yeah.
Just so we have a live example, because
Yeah.
you get in the weeds pretty quick.
All right, so input image, Midjourney prompt generator.
So input image, it's actually just those 5 parameters or 6 parameters at the top. So if you do, and you just try it, just put in any short form description. So don't do any like parameters of anything, just make it. Do you want to see it work first and then do it, or?
Yeah. So do I put in right here, or I select it?
No, so go into input image description. Okay. And then you could type in that one. I don't know why you don't see the arrows. Okay. There's actually drop down arrows on all the other fields. Oh, it's view only. Here, let me let you.
Oh, yeah.
Or you want to copy it, then it should be all right.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I can give the code for that other little program, show people how I converted that other one into a live sheet too.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so this is,
so you can put
input image description. Okay, so happy heart mascot, and let's got some moods. Okay,
so you select whatever mood you want.
Yeah,
and that's actually what
contemplation.
drives most
Okay,
things.
yes, I get this. All right. So then the amount of chaos, and then it outputs this.
Yeah, so the real output is the mood or the color depth. Actually, if you scroll down, that's what's really generating the output. The color depth, sharpness, contrast, saturation, noise, and visual hierarchy are all based on the mood.
Nice.
So the mood is really the driver of most things. The rest are just selections.
Okay. And where does this come? A high level of sharpness? That's just okay.
It just gets incorporated into the phrase. Okay. So if you look at imagery database.
Oh, okay. That's
so this is
everything from
all the fields. Yeah, so they're all correlated with the mood. So when you select the mood, it goes to the corresponding column for whatever it should be.
Nice. Okay, moods. Okay,
And then this is a learning thing for
yeah,
developing a creative direction for social media, which is why I made it.
yeah, this is definitely possible. Yeah, with the whole prompt generator thing, that's where I was trying to build. And I was like, okay, do I need to do that? And that's where TextPlay is kind of like, okay, I'm not going to build the full prompt generator, what's possible here. Because with that, you can kind of put in the little variations, and it even has drop downs. So I mean, but if we're to say we're just gonna literally build this, like, instead of copying it off necessarily. So
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that because I mean, the hard part of what I did was just figuring out the formula to put it all together. But I'm guessing that's not something I'd need to communicate. I would more just feed it the database
Using-
bases and say, I want the data correlated.
yeah, I mean, it'd just be this. So, oh man, I should probably go into a whole new chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, this is gonna be messy.
Yeah. All right. So let's see what this comes up with right now. Now we got an image generator with some of these types of things.
Okay, so it's just kind of made up parameters.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you could paste it in, say, hey, include, put these there, put these.
Forward
That's what I did with the
resolution.
other one.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll.
gotcha. Okay.
All right, so
Do you start with the
let's see.
input though? Like that's kind of the starting point.
Let's see. Start with the input here. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you want it to.
Yeah, all of those
Yeah.
would need to correlate with the
Yeah.
databases, which are all driven by the.
So use. Okay. Yeah, input image description, and then
All the actual information is in imagery database because the
Yeah.
real parameters are the.
okay. So
color
I'll
contrast
do
and-
this then. Yeah.
I would just go with the list, not the summary. Unless you want to include the summary.
Okay.
I
And
just
go-
did that more for learning.
Yeah, I mean, basically, here's it would I would have it build the actual prompt. I'd say, okay, create a little let's see, build a JavaScript program using the drop down options below. Yeah. And then I would have
So-
it generate the actual prompt. Okay, so I'd tell it even make a prompt generator. This program needs to generate
You could just say a
Let's
prompt
see.
for Midjourney. I mean, that's.
I mean, I don't think Midjourney wasn't out by 2021, so they have no concept of what the prompt generating really necessarily is. But yeah, you just have to really just take a look at this type of program here, and you'd say, okay, you're wanting an output of a particular thing based on an image description. So you just tell this program, okay, I want to be able to have the user will have an input text box for their image description. They'll select the mood, and then it'll output based on, so this would be.
So that would just be the mood list, but if you scroll to the right, you'll see the list for all of those other specifications.
Yeah. So let's see how this actually is. Yeah, I'd have to take a little look and see how that is.
Yeah, so
When I put in contemplation, where does that actually go? If I put in, or if I go put in adventure,
contemplation is
If I put
essentially
in
the key.
okay, that's the key, and then
That's
would,
the key that corresponds to go to the right. It's easier if you see all the lists. No, back in the imagery
right here.
database. No.
Oh, okay, in the imagery.
And then scroll to the right.
Oh, okay, over
So
here.
these are the row. This is all technically one table. And so I said reference the mood and then correlate it with whatever number for these columns for color depth, sharpness, contrast, etc.
Interesting.
And then what I did,
Yeah,
I
that's
generated
neat.
this list based off of ChatGPT's output for how to describe, or what would be the options for saturation to communicate whatever adventure. And then that's where it came out for that. So then I took all those lists and combined them into one table.
Yeah, I'm just still trying to see exactly how this thing would
Yeah, so the formula is
So
that
then
the
that's
outputs
right here.
calculated
This is
by
the formula right here.
that's actually just combining the data. The actual
Oh,
data is
okay.
generated underneath. So if you click on bold vibrant, that's what's actually
Okay.
that's the lookup function.
Oh, nice. So this would be
So it's saying go to imagery database, column 11,
and go okay.
in relationship to D6.
And if I change something up here, would that change that, or what changes this?
So the output changes every time you modify those.
Oh, okay. So bold, high saturation, strong bold. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this would just be, like you said, combining all this right here. So you'd ignore this at first, obviously. This would come last after all that. So yeah, you'd go into here and you'd have it so that, when they select this, then it would have, it would be based on all these other things. So let's go on here and see that.
So basically, yeah. So to ChatGPT, you would say, okay,
we could just go with the summary here, I guess. Or let's see, what would be something that would correlate with adventure? Where would adventure correlate with over here?
It's the
Color
same
depth.
row.
Okay, all in this
So
row.
so all the rows. Actually, do you want me to just take over? I'll just walk you through the whole thing.
I think I got it right here.
Okay. But what it looks like needs to happen is, instead of doing what I did, which was create a list for every single one based on the mood, you would just say adventure, the contrast is this, the sharpness is this.
Bold, vibrant. So when I click adventure, it says bold, vibrant, high saturation. Where is that over here?
It's in the corresponding row. So go to the left.
Okay.
And then look at adventure. So go on row 4. So everything on row 4 for each one of those.
So where does it say
categories.
bold? Right here.
Bold, vibrant. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sharpness, etc.
So that's where this would be all of the whole list that we would then say, okay, this, and then we would copy it like this, basically. And then, we'd say, well, maybe you'd want to take this over to text find and replace.
No, well, did you want me to just?
Yeah, you could, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I think what's happening is, what I did was create the lists, and they all correspond to a single type of data. And instead, what you need to do is just summarize the data first. So if you look at this is the original. Okay, so I put man on the moon. Okay, so like that, the mood is actually what generates all of these, because it just says, okay, for empathy has these characteristics based on empathy. That's why it's mainly filled out. And then these are just simple selectors of other components that you'd want to feed into Midjourney. And so the only one that's actually doing anything significant is actually the mood. So what I would do is, if I was going to correlate this and try to train ChatGPT, I'd say prompts, and then I'd start pulling the base data from each row. So instead of saying adventure, blah, 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 I'd say adventure. The prompt would have this. And then I come over to each one that's associated with adventure, which is the ones on row 4. So I'd probably make another table is what I do. So I know I need all of these to communicate adventure. And then I come over and say, okay, I need this one, sharpness. And you can do this faster than having to copy and paste, but I'm I'm wondering if this is how you write it in, because I think
yeah, that's a good idea. It just being, I was just basically doing the single example, just trying to associate adventure with bold, vibrant. Just because obviously you could maybe add in some of the extra aspects, tell it to add the details. It's like, okay, associate color depth with all these.
Well, would that be the better way, or would it be safer if you did something like the following specs communicate, what I say, adventure in
Yes.
a photo. And so would you train it like that? Or I'm guessing you could do more than one at a time, but you basically want to say adventure is this stuff, is this stuff.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then you would say, okay, write an app based on the parameters of.
Yeah. I want to create an output based on a selection, and when choosing adventure, include you can include all these different categories. Say, I want to include variables for color depth, sharpness, contrast, and you could start doing that, just like when we did with that with that customer value journey. Every single stage was associated with its own
list of data.
With a list of data. And then you could just basically use the drop down, and then it would show you all of the full set of selections in another spot. So that's one aspect of it there.
So it almost be simple, because I always go back and forth on the best way to do app development, because one is you try to do it yourself so you can at least explain it to somebody else, or it doesn't sound like that's even necessary with ChatGPT, because you could just start with the thing you're trying to achieve and then feed it information. Is that accurate?
It comes down to, like, you just showed me how that whole spreadsheet just worked. Well, that was pretty important for you to be able to actually know how it works and be able to think through it and show me that. Once you understand it, then it's basically just a matter of how we're talking about telling ChatGPT to put things in the context of a JavaScript bootstrap example. And we want to be able to have something that, instead of a spreadsheet, which may not be optimal, we want to have modals. We want to have little drop downs, and then we could tell it to then add more criteria, and we can kind of talk to it in that way. So just even with that little create a drop down program that outputs the
you want to share your screen again?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Share screen. Do you see? Is that visible?
Yep. Easy.
Okay, nice. And create a drop-down program that outputs text on the right and selecting options on the left.
Well, just so everybody knows, when it comes to just simple app concepts like this, what you're trying to do is create all the options. Because if you don't have a lot of people want, like, oh, I want it to do this thing, but if you don't give it like the answers to literally everything that it could come up with, then it won't be able to do it. Even using AI. I mean, you could tell, I guess you could, because if I said,
I mean, it's your friend. It is your friend. It's very forgiving, and it does actually kind of help you out. The only thing is, like with all of these different criteria, it makes it harder to copy and paste. So you want to be able to have like smaller versions, so that it's not like all this wall of text, which is kind of redundant. So let's see here.
But ideally, you can combine it all into one prompt, or what was it? 5 prompts, 3 to 5.
You want to. It does actually take. If you imagine some people, when they talk about mowing a lawn, that you can't mow the whole lawn at the same time. Like sometimes you have to go one layer, or else it would get caught. So you got to do it a little at a time, and that is true. Like that's why chain prompting is actually important, because it has to consider. Like one time I said, hey, come up with 100 different ideas and give me the best one. And it can't do that. It has to come out with the 100 ideas. And then you could say, okay, then sort. So
that's a good way to describe it.
So let's see what I just now, this at least just with this little simple program, I could select adventure and it's going to say, hey, bold, vibrant. So you can see from there, add in, that's how I would basically start building this thing out. I would say, okay, now we got the first bit. Now let's associate that with all these other, so that when you click the mood or when you click the certain thing, then it's going to output more than just adventure or amazement. It's going to come up with all the other things that would be associated with that.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, so I think from the, like what I would do next and what I'll do, everyone, is probably go through this process and convert mine into a JavaScript app, just because it's going to be
let's do it.
a small amount of steps. but it's basically this process where you say, okay, I want to generate this one thing, and then figure out how to generate the one thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the spreadsheet that I actually created, what you get, like when it says here's the output, that's actually the very last formula it's made, because it's actually pulling from the answers from previous formulas. Does that make sense?
It's going to be interesting to be able to see that full paragraph here with all the related criteria that you have there. So this was that other program that I had converted to get social links with that.
Oh, I love that one.
So this is right here.
Well, this is just a great lesson in how apps work, because I think a lot of people think that's just one formula that's doing all the magic, and what it is like a whole bunch of crap going on.
It really is. It's insane. And what happens is you start out with GPT-3 and then you go to GPT-4, because GPT-4 knows a lot more of how this actually goes. So, I went and I pasted this in. I said, hey, the program isn't working. And it said, oh, it looks like when fetching this, you need to add an event listener. So, you just paste that on in there. And then it's grabbing the social links out there. It should be outputting. Let's see. But yeah, I had to go in and really mess around with this for a second.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I called this session more advanced, because it's not exactly like generate 50 article titles. Like there are, whenever you get into calculating, it's going to get a little bit more complex than that. But if you want to do something special, then that's just what you need to do. And it's actually good, because it's a barrier to entry for people who aren't willing to do that level of work.
And then you go in here. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it could take a little bit here. Oh, see that? There we go. Finally, it got all of the links. You saw how long that took just now. Oh, it's because I also tried to go and get the phone number too the other day. Like I tried to have it go and scrape everything. So I added in, and it didn't grab the address, right? Because I tried to say, hey, have it grab the address from everything. So I literally just typed in digitalmarketer.com and it got all of your social profiles. Didn't get your owner name. It doesn't look like that's your phone number. I just tried to add those in.
What happened?
Yeah. So boom.
That's super neat.
I think it's pretty rad, because I literally took this little program that I saw. People were all excited about this little spreadsheet. And then I took that and I pasted it. And then now I got a program I could paste on my website that would allow me to fetch. And I could say, hey, I don't want to just do one at a time. Let me paste in a whole list, and then it'll instantly do that. And let me export it. It'll build me an export button.
That's awesome. Well, and I think what we'll do now is we'll go through some of these questions, but just so everybody knows, like in terms of direct marketing application, this is the type of stuff that people are going to expect from your inspect instead of your downloadables. So you won't be able to get away with just giving an ebook or do something. Like people are going to expect like, hey, I want something for free. Then your free thing is going to be like an application at this point, where you couldn't do that before, because an application's expensive and complicated and whatever. But I think we're now into the world of people have expectations that whatever you're promising you're going to deliver, they're going to be able to essentially do rather than learn about doing. So I think it's a big transition that we're going to be making. But get good at this and you're going to be set, because This is awesome.
It's fun.
That's good.
Yeah, it's variable. So many different ways to apply it.
Well, once you understand it, because some of the concepts you're talking about are not common knowledge. CSS, JavaScript, HTML code, even like a lot of
you
people
guys saw
don't.
that. Hey, you just put it between those two things, and you can kind of get some interesting stuff rolling. I mean,
oh yeah, but even that, even
Yeah.
the process of line by line coding, like none of this is
yeah, it's
natural
intimidating.
for
It
anybody.
is. It is. If it wasn't for this site, this is with the site that I learned to code on, because literally you see the results on
See
the
the
right.
output, see it in action. No, that's great. These are fantastic tips. Let's see. Melissa asks, how do you improve design? Because I know
How
like
do
you
you
added
improve
colors.
design? Well, when it comes to, make sure you tell it to do JavaScript Bootstrap. That's where, if you tell it to just go build a straight up HTML or a JavaScript, it's not going to look nice. But if you say JavaScript Bootstrap and you tell it, hey, I want it to have these theme colors, you could throw in your hexadecimal colors and it'll build you that. I mean, if we just go over to
we
this
don't
whole
have
thing.
a
Oh
ton
yeah.
of time.
Yeah, but
It's more just like a vague, you
Yeah.
build in,
Yeah.
the parameters of your JavaScript and CSS.
Yeah, you tell it to
reflect
do
the
that.
design that you want.
CSS. Yeah.
But again, what I would use this for, if you are going to that level where like I want to make an app that's sellable and all this kind of stuff, then I would say ideate using ChatGPT and this process and spreadsheets and whatever you can to communicate the information and actually have it accomplish what you want it to. That way you're not paying a developer to go through that process because you've already done it. So you're like,
Yeah.
hey, here's the code, here's how it works. Now please just put this into an app because I don't know how to do that part.
Even though
So-
JavaScript Bootstrap works on mobile. So my programs,
work.
like, I mean, I'm not going to tell a programmer to spice this up any further. I literally would just, I don't even have time for that. Like, we will come up with another project. We'll have another, we need to move fast in this day and age. Yeah, that's what I did with my estimator. I built that thing up so that it does so much more. Like, it's, you guys could have plenty of IP just by telling it to do these little programs and letting it roll.
That's awesome. Let's see. Kevin asks, have you tried any coding beyond a simple JavaScript page?
Basically, I like jQuery. I like JavaScript. I used to do a little bit of Python, but I like being able to do web app stuff. And, you can go into React and you could set up a whole visual, go into your Visual Basic and set that up. But right now, that's what I was just trying to get people set up on, just going straight over to JSDo and just kind of like letting it roll like that. Because otherwise, when you're having to do file management where, you saw that little JavaScript script.js, how I just eliminated that out. That's basically what the bigger things do. You just, instead of having it all on one page, you just take that JavaScript code and you just put that into a little file, and then you have it reference that. And you could build a giant app that way.
Yeah, and Kevin, I think what Dean is showing is the most accessible type of kind of code conversion. When you get more complicated than that, you're going to have to understand databases and how information is interconnected to each other and accessed, and it's not magic. You have to understand these concepts before you can even generate these codes. So you could, of course, generate whatever code you want, but you have to understand how it works, even if you don't understand the code.
Yeah, you imagine that wave, that 25 prompt wave. It can get sophisticated if you want,
Yeah. Let's see. Question on how to plug error message back into chat.
Yeah, when you go into chat into JSDo, it'll throw an error and it'll show in a big old gnarly red box, and you'll be like, "What the heck is this?" So yeah, you'll literally just copy that and you could paste it back in. And if the error doesn't work, you could tell ChatGPT, make error logs or make a console log that's descriptive so that I know what error we're getting. And then it'll give you a very descriptive error that you could paste back in.
That's awesome. Let's see more questions about styling.
CSS,
I think
yeah, like you're saying there.
Yeah, I think CSS and just so you know, if you're talking about like UI, like user interface design, that's still
You have to think about
connecting.
that.
You're gonna have to think about that. Actually, you could just go to Canva. Like if you go
Yeah,
to
that's
Canva
interesting.
and you
Yeah.
just use it, there's templates for UI, but connecting
Yeah.
all these elements, like unless you plan on being a AI app developer, which is a completely different profession than marketing, I would say use this for ideation, for testing, for understanding. And when I say testing, I mean generate like an app and then just embed it on a page on your website and use it as like essentially a lead magnet. So you'd say, hey,
Yes.
I'm a flower store. I have this cool game where you could guess the flower, and I'm going to promote that
Yes.
to people who love flowers. And then I'm going to collect their emails because they're going to want to access this game. So that would be
That's it.
the marketing application for it versus like, I'm going to build an app and go sell an app because you're competing
Mhm.
with trillion-dollar companies that are also trying to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Instead, you got to go grassroots. Let's see.
But if you wanted to do that, this is still something that you can learn. Like a lot of these people that are top developers, they didn't necessarily all go to school. A lot of them are self-taught. Mark Zuckerberg is self-taught. I mean, mainly.
Yeah, well, that's how a lot of them are too. It's just the person who's willing to do the work and figure it out, which is not a small amount of work that has to be done. Let's see. Are all the data tables always hard coded in, or is there a way for an app to reference separate data tables? Maintenance, updates, etc.
Yeah, there's a million different ways to be able to handle that. I like to keep it all on just a simple page. The only program is that my sales calculator, my marketing funnel calculator, it got to where it was about 20,000 lines long. So that wouldn't fit into a page anymore. So that sort of, when it has that much information, then you got to put it into a little file and have it reference. But also you can go over to Rapid API. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen, but you can go to Rapid API.
Oh, you're
And
sharing.
oh, am I still sharing this right now? You can see this?
Yep.
So yeah, you can go to Rapid API here. And this is another way to kind of outsource your stuff, is that you can go to actually have this create little APIs for you. So you go and you subscribe to a little API, and then you go to JavaScript, fetch, and then you can copy this code. So now you can actually tell ChatGPT, make a program for this API, and then you paste it in, like that. And then it will give you the ability to actually utilize these APIs like that. So I had one that was showing me different golf courses for fun. It had like a list of all the golf courses, and so that's one way as far as data.
Nice. No, that's a great tip right there, especially if we're just finding those codes.
Yeah, APIs, connect to APIs. Tell ChatGPT to connect your API for you.
Oh,
I mean, this is literally, you got all this now. Don't even wait for those plugins. Make them yourself.
that's awesome. Let's see. We'll do the app return and then a lot of the look of it. Could you create a search function and button for your website?
A search function button? Yes,
search.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'd probably say, hey, do a PHP. That would probably be a PHP thing, and then you'd paste that on in. But whatever your actual, like if you're going WordPress, tell ChatGPT that you want a search button for WordPress that you want to be able to paste in. That, and then you drop that in, or a plugin. You
might be able to say WordPress plugin. It might develop something. Would that work? Be awesome.
A WordPress plugin? Oh yeah, you could definitely make plugins. But yeah, like again, just being able to have it to be all this, like I literally told it to make all these different types of programs with even the ChatGPT. So when you say, how do you get the tables? How do you get all that? Well, a lot of these problems right now, I'm actually able to solve with these open AI bots that I'm making right here. Like this is a lead magnet generator, so like, before I was going, hey, maybe I should make an avatar program. No, I shouldn't. I should tell make a Chat GPT program. So then all I put in was flower shop, and then it output this with Chat GPT. You know, I mean, this is a pretty neat avatar that Chat GPT made, and it's very easy to do this. Now I could even give the code, and we could, kind of work on these sort of programs later on.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, we might take you up on that. I'm gonna let everybody bug you on Slack.
Yes, let's do it.
Onward. Well, thank you so much, Dean. I think this has been fantastic. I'm going to send you the rest of the questions. Love them. I think we've answered. I think we've done a pretty good job answering. So, but any ones we don't have, I will ping, or actually everybody else could just ping Dean and he'll be happy to answer them for you. This has been fantastic though. And I think it's, just in addition to like how to use, Chat GPT in terms of some basic coding, also gives you an understanding of how complex apps are, because there still isn't, an app creator where you could be like, I wanted to do this and just write a summary and have it like drop it into, the app store.
You got to think about it a little bit. Definitely.
We'll test it before that. Well, and there's
you got to stay on the, that's how you stay on the cutting edge, just that little bit of talent stack.
Yeah. Well, and I think this is, a great introduction to what's possible. So I definitely recommend everybody try to make a JavaScript, think of an app that you've always wanted to do, and then take one function from that app that you want, and then try to make that in ChatGPT.
Good tip.
Because don't try to do the whole thing at once. It will never work. But thank you. Where can people learn more about you, Dean?
Go to Remember This Marketing, and if you like this, just tell Mark that you want to see more of me. Just tell digital marketer that you liked this. If you did, just let them know that, hey, I really like that Dean guy. Because that's really what I want to do. I didn't tell anybody about a lot of this stuff, and it was a labor of love to be able to convey all this to you guys. I know that, maybe there was a little touch and go there at certain points, but that is programming.
No, that's a good lesson too. Actually, could you stop sharing your screen real quick, Dean? I was going to do a class photo, which we probably should have done at an earlier session, but we still got 50 people. That's plenty.
Maybe you could take it. Oh, here we go. Stop.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, everybody, cameras on, smiling. I'm going to take a couple because we got two different screens.
Oh.
All right. But if you can, turn those cameras on. Here we go. All right, smiles. All right, one more. Got two screens. Everybody's still smiling. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks again, Dean. Really appreciate you. I'll go ahead and ping you in those questions that we didn't get to on Slack. And just so everybody knows, I will try to develop the sheet that I shared with you guys into an app that we'll embed on the website. So as soon as that's up, I'll show you the video that I used to create it, and then I'll actually include the code, and you can see how everything works. In the meantime, enjoy that thing. It's actually used for the core creative direction.
I love that thing. That's cool.
The new social app.
It's really smart.
And and if you haven't already, if you could review this session and the course in general, that'd be fantastic. Cecilia, if you want to paste that link in there. This has been a blast for me. I hope everybody's very excited about AI. I'm still very excited about AI. Actually, the more time has gone, I get more excited about it because it tends to weed out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, good. Not everybody's obsessed with it now. Now the people who are serious about it could just start talking, because it is still taking over everything and is getting more advanced all the time. So this is great. Let's see, certification for this bootcamp. We are discussing that. We have all your guys' emails, so we'll keep you up to date on that. We just started our social media bootcamp now. So if we do the certification, it's going to be after that's complete, which is, I think, 8 weeks. So we're probably looking at sometime in, what is it, April, probably June. June will be the next AI program. But anything that we come out with in the meantime, we'll go ahead and, certificate's already downloadable. So if you do guys want a certificate from completing this course, go ahead and go to the course page. And Cecilia, they don't have to do anything in terms of a test, right?
No, but I could make something up that's fun and has to do with Dean's building games if we want to.
There you go. You have to build your own game, get it on the App Store, and then submit it, and you get your certificate.
Make $1 million.
Make $1 million have to make $1 million
Then.
and then you're good to go. But yeah, we really appreciate everybody. And we'll let you know when we're coming out with new stuff. I think now what we've done, like through this whole process, we learned a ton about how a whole bunch of different creators think about AI. And so now in terms of the certification development, we start to create our frameworks, and then now we'll be able to apply it. Problem is right now that AI keeps changing. So it's hard to nail it down, be like, here's how it works from now on, because it's like, oh crap, that was yesterday.
That's true.
24 hours is a long time. But yeah, Michelle, this is the last class. This is the last bonus session. Really appreciate everybody who has been here. Again, we'll put everything on Slack, and be sure to download it all, and we'll keep you updated on the next one. But really appreciate you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Go do AI.